Yeah, absolutely.
Where the state older drivers a break, right?
Yeah, here's the thing. The DMV has this new legislation which allows individuals to renew driver's license online. But before July, this was not eligible to those that were over 70, but now that has changed. If you're over 70 years old, you can renew your driver's license online. However, you still have to take a vision test. You also could be eligible to take a cognitive exam.
But you have to go in to do that?
The best part is that there are programs online that offer you to take a vision test online and even some cognitive exams online as well. So you still, even if you're over 70, may not actually have to go into the DMV.
You know, some of this actually went into effect during the pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where the state tried to make it easier for people to do what they need to do. And so, in a way, do you think that was sort of a testing ground for this?
Yeah, Hal, that's interesting that you say that because the law really is a test. When you actually dive into the language of the law, and I'm a little nerdy like this, but when you dive into the language, it essentially gives the DMV the right to test this for a year. So this allows us to collect data on if there's any safety impacts by allowing people to renew their driver's license online while protecting seniors from having to stand in long lines in crowded spaces.
Well, that's what it does. It makes it easier for those who may find themselves, you know, a little uncomfortable walking around, their back hurts, their neck hurts.
Absolutely.
They don't have to come in and deal with that.
Absolutely.
You know, we want to talk about a couple of the laws that may be head scratchers. And some are valid, but the first one might cut down on your Frisbee time. So let's talk about playing catch on public property. That's against the law?
Yeah, you actually cannot play any type of sport on public property if that property is not designated for that sport. So don't go and play catch in an area where you can't play baseball. You cannot play even kickball on public land.
Dodgeball.
No, you can't do it, Hal. I'm sorry. Put your dodgeball shorts away because you can't do it on public property.
You know, it's why are we doing that?
You know, the idea is that we have these flying objects that are happening around, and the goal is to protect those that are around in the environment. If you go to a baseball field, you have noticed that, yes, there could be a flying baseball. But if you're going to a park, for example, you may not be aware that potentially there are these objects that can come at you from anywhere. So the goal is to try and protect those around from any potential injury.
And there has to be signage.
Yeah, there has to be these type of signage to let people know that you're entering a designated area where you could potentially be injured if you're not paying attention.
No roller skating in Compton?
Yeah, that cannot happen. Yeah, roller skating, skateboarding, no, you cannot do it, especially if you are on any type of public property. And again, when we look at skateboarders and roller skaters, yes, there are those that use this as valid means of transportation, but the issue that we've seen recently in these recent years are people doing trick shots. And again, it has to do with the injury to the public.
And that's where you get into the danger zone. Talk about the one that has to deal with balloons.
Yeah, here's the thing that is actually sounds crazy, but it makes perfect sense. You cannot legally release balloons in public. I mean, this was big for graduations that happened not too long ago, where individuals would graduate and then release these balloons. The reason why you cannot legally release balloons is because if certain balloons get caught in power lines, they can explode, like instantaneous.
But we're at 2024. Why haven't we dealt with this before?
Yeah, here's the thing. We need to figure out how to make balloons that can be safe if they're accidentally released. Because I mean, myself personally, I took my goddaughter out for her birthday. I opened up my car and I lost at least 10 balloons. The idea is to try and make it better for our power grid so we don't lose power unintentionally. But we should also look at making balloons safer.
Okay, getting back to the Frisbee again.
Yes.
You go to the beach, you want to play Frisbee, but you have to ask a lifeguard if you can play Frisbee?
Yeah, there's no Frisbee playing unless you ask a lifeguard for permission. That is the law here in the state of California.
Can a lifeguard say no?
Yeah, they absolutely can say no, and it has to do with how crowded the beach is. And that is the lifeguard's job to protect not only those that are in the water, but those that are enjoying family time on the beach as well. If a beach is too crowded, that lifeguard has the ability to say, hey, no Frisbee today.
Okay, all right, now, folks, this one's real, because this one, I'm not sure the history on this, but it is illegal to lick a toad.
Yeah, listen, I know you must be disappointed, Hal, but put the toad down. You cannot lick toads in the state of
Besides getting warts, what's the problem here?
Well, it's interesting because many people may not know this, and it's a good thing if they don't, but apparently toads emit a certain type of chemical that if an individual licks them, it can actually produce a psychedelic effect.
Is it certain types of toads, though?
Yeah, it's certain type of toads, and I don't know which ones, to be honest with you, but yes, there are certain type of toads that do release this chemical compound that if you lick it, you can actually get high off of it. Not only that, you can actually have a terrible reaction as well, and be poisoned, because that's essentially what it is.
People really do this.
It happens so often that the National Park Service has released a warning nationwide to all 50 states, pleading for people to stop doing this. California actually made it a law to stop doing it as well.
All right. There's another one here that kind of head scratcher for me. It's illegal to cry on the stand in a courtroom?
This is interesting because the idea is all about...
We only have 30 seconds here, so...
Okay, the idea is to prevent any type of false testimony. That is trying to get the jury on your side.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you emote because you're feeling this emotion. It's not because you're faking it.
You know what? I'd be pressed to see if there's any prosecutor that would actually prosecute based on this law. If you cry, naturally do it, but don't do it to try and persuade a jury to go on your side.
And that's what you're going to tell your clients.
Absolutely, 100%.
All right, Hugo Lord, attorney extraordinaire. Thank you very much, and we'll have more Fox 11 News in Depth coming up right after this break. Don't go away.
Thank you so much, Hal. I appreciate you. I love coming